Today on Trainmaster Bob, we're going to continue with our series of videos on the operations of the various locals on my Erie Lackawanna Memories branch line HO scale model railroad. Today we're going to look at the operation of the cementer. The cementer is the last train operated in an operating session. It operates to the two cement mills, Penn-Dixie number 6 and Keystone Cement in Bath, Pennsylvania. It brings empties into the mill, pulls the last of the cement loaded that day, spots additional empties, weighs the cement, then returns back to staging. Staging represents the train going on to Port Morris Yard in Netcong, New Jersey, where the cars would be switched and then they would be put into various locals and trains going throughout New Jersey and into New York Harbor. Remember now to subscribe to my channel and to give my video a like. And now on to the cementer. The cementer is now coming up the grade out of staging, heading for Lime Junction, where it's going to enter the branch line and continue on to Bath, where it's going to be switching out the two cement mills. Now we see the cement drill as it goes across the Shades of Death road crossing and pulling up the switch to enter the branch here at Lime Junction. Switch sender's got the route line so you don't have to stop on the hill. Cementer now comes up the yard lead and heads towards Prosperity. Cementer pulls up the yard lead, it goes around the curve, and it heads towards the town of Prosperity. Next, the Northampton drill pulls up to the Northampton Street crossing and stops so the crew can get off and flag the crossing. Once it's ascertained that all traffic is stopped and it's safe to cross, then the train proceeds towards Bath again. The train, as it comes around the curve and passes the Team Tracks and Industries here at Bath. We have engine 1934 on the Harmony drill. We've stopped behind the switch. We're going to be pulling the siding here at Harmony to clear for the cementer. And the Harmony drill is going to pull through the siding, and they're going to pull up to the Shades of Death Road crossing and stay behind the crossing to meet the cementer. As the cementer comes around the curve and into Harmony, the Harmony drill is just in the clear of Shades of Death Road on the siding to meet the cementer. Cementer rolls past the backyards of the homes in Harmony and heads on down the main towards Bath. Now the cementer leaves Harmony and it's going down the back side of the layout and it's heading towards Penargil Junction. Engines are now going through the switches at Penargil Junction. The cementer passes the started slate quarry at Penargil. Train swings around the curve, passes by the started slate quarry at Penargil, and pulls up here to Johnny Rook's siding. Johnny Rook's is a siding that's used to set out cars going to and from the Pennsylvania Railroad interchange at Martins Creek, Pennsylvania. On the prototype railroad, this track was used to gather cars up all day long from the various locals operating on the Bangor and Portland branch of the Erie-Lackawanna. And then the night job would take the cars down to Martins Creek branch, which was 4 miles long, and across over the Delaware River on the Pennsylvania Railroad's bridge there into Brainerd's, PA, which was Martins Creek, New Jersey, in the employee timetable, and they would deliver cars to the Pennsylvania Railroad, later Penn Central. And the PRR crews, or Penn Central crews, would come across the bridge to the Pennsylvania side and deliver to the Erie-Lackawanna in the Alpha Yard behind Alpha Portland Cement. And the night crew would bring the cars up from the Alpha Yard, and all the cars basically all went west on the branch and would set them into the spur track at Rook's. And then various locals that worked the branch would stop, pick up the cars they needed out of Rook's and take them to the west end of the branch. That's how it worked, and that's what I model here. And that we're going to stop, and we're going to pick up some empty cars for Bath. Pull up now, clear the switch, and stop. Brakeman's lined the switch, and we're going into Johnny Rook's to make our pickup. We got some empty cement cars to pick up, and there's still several cars in the siding here that have not been picked up yet. And we're going to pull up, and we're going to cut away from and leave them in Johnny Rook's. Now we pull out Johnny Rook's with our 3 empties. Brakeman's lining the switch. He's giving us a hand signal to come back. Passing signal for 3 cars, 2 cars, 1 car, and that'll do. Joint, we're going to stretch them now. Make sure we got them all. We got them. So now we're going to pump up our air, and then we're going to depart. We pumped up our air. We've done our initial terminal air test on the 3 cars that we picked up. We've done a set and release on the caboose, and now we're going to go. Depart from Penargil and head on into the East Yard at Bath. Pull in the Bath Yard here, the East Yard at Bath, and we're going to stop, and we're going to make a cut and leave our train sitting here on the main while we go into Penn-Dixie Cement with the locomotives and make our pulls. Our power pulls out of the east yard, goes behind Harvey Cohen's scrap yard, and pulls in the west yard and stops clear of the switch. Brakeman's lined the switch, and now we're going to head back into Penn-Dixie number 6 cement mill, and we're going to get our pools out of the mill. Now we pull down the Penn-Dixie lead from the west yard at Bath with our power. At Penn-Dixie Cement, cars for Lehigh, New England and the Erie Lackawanna are all mixed together on the same tracks. Both railroads serve the mill, and they only have one load-out track for bulk and one load-out track for box cars of packaged cement. So our first move here is there's 3 Lehigh New England cars in front of our pickup, so we have to pick them up first and set them over. Gotta pull up now, clear the switch, and stop. Okay, our brakeman is now lined the switch, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to shove back. We're going to shove back to a joint with the box cars that are on the track. Okay, we're going to stretch your joint, make sure it made. It did. And next we're going to pull out. We have 2 cars to pick up and 1 car that's still empty to place back in. And we're going to pull them up, and we're going to stop just short of the switch, and we're going to set the Lehigh New England cars over. Brakeman's made a cut on the 1 car that we have to respot for DL, and we're going to pull up now, clear the switch, and stop. Okay, switch is line. Get the hand signal to come on back by the head brakeman. Now he's relaying the hand signal from the rear brakeman, who's back at the joint. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to come to a joint. Now by making the move in this way, we have now got our 2 loaded cars of bagged cement against our 3 loads of bulk cement. Our rearman's walked back, made a cut between our loads and the 2 empty cars that are still left in the track, and we're going to pull up to the clearance point on the switch and stop. We're going to pull ahead. Okay, we're going to stop now at the switch, and next we're going to shove back. And shove back, we're going to go back to a joint with the car that we left there earlier. And now we're going to shove everything that we're shoving back. We're going to spot our box cars up at the loading dock of the bagging plant. Next we're going to cut away from them and pull up. And we're going to pull up, leave our Lehigh New England cars just in the clear of the fouling point of the switch here. All right there. Okay, we've cut away from the box cars and we're going to now pull our empty Lehigh New England cement cars up and stop with them in the clear of the switch here. Make a cut on them. Okay, made the cut. We're going to pull up. And we're going to stop, just clear the switch. Now we're going to shove back to a joint. And we're going to come out with our 5 loaded cars to cut our, oh, we didn't make it. Let's go back, we'll try to get this joint again. Make sure we made our joint, we've got it. We're going to come out with our 5 loaded cars, our 2 cars of bagged cement, and our 3 cars of bulk cement. We're going to double them now against our empty Lehigh New England cars and put the L&N empties back into the bulk track. Okay, we got a hold of them. We're going to pull forward up the clearance point on the switch again. Okay, the brakeman's lined the switch, giving us a comeback signal, and we're going to start back into the bulk track, and we're going to put these 3 Lehigh New England cars back on spot. And we shove them back to joint. Now we're going to cut away from them. Okay, we made our cut. We're going to pull away. And we're going to head towards the east yard at Bath. Now we pull up the Penn-Dixie lead. Past the switch, it goes into the east yard, and you've got to pull on down into the west yard. And then brakeman's already walked forward and lined us in a track 4 at the west yard. We're going to pull our 5 loads in, and then we're going to cut away from them. We're going to stop just in the clearance point. Brakeman's made the cut. He's given us a signal, and we're cut away, and we're going to head down into the Keystone now and get our pools out of the Keystone mill. Okay, we're lined into the package track. We're going to pull on in here and we're going to pick up our outbound loads of bagged cement. Slow down, stop, and we go to a joint. And we're going to pull out our 2 loads. We pull out of the package track now and we're going to stop, clear the switch. Our brakeman's lined us up and given us a signal, come on back, and we're going to shove back now and we're going to go against our bulk car pickup. Coming nice, slow and easy. Joint. Okay, we're going to shove back again. This time we've got them. Brakeman's going to knock off the handbrakes. Okay, we got a hold of our pickup. Going to pull up track 3 with our pickup. Going to continue up track 3 and pull right out onto the yard lead. Stop just clear of the 4-track switch, and now we're going to shove back against the cars we picked up at PD6. On a joint with them. And we're going to pull everything forward. And we've stopped, just cleared a switch. Okay, now we're going to shove down the yard lead and we're going to shove down to the scale. Box cars coming out of the mill are all moved on what's called a shipper's weight agreement, where the railroad accepts the cement mill's weight for the lading. Bag cement weighed 90 pounds with 2 pounds for the empty bag, for a total of 92 pounds per bag of cement loaded into the car. Bulk cars have to be weighed on the scale, and the weight determined by the railroad at the time of weighing is the weight that the mills use to bill the customer. We're going to shove our 2 box cars clear of scale, and then we're going to pull back. Okay, we've cut away from our box cars. Now we're going to pull back up on the scale. We stop. We'll put our couplers in delay mode. this car up onto the scale. Note we do not have any of the wheels of the bottle car touching the scale. We've got our weight. Conductor's giving us a sign that he's got the weight. We're going to push this car up forward. Clear the scale. We're going to come back. And we're going to spot the bottle car in the scale. We put our Katy couplers in the delay mode. Now we're going to shove back. So we shove back. We left a little room now. Okay, we're going to come on back. We're going to get our next car up on the scale. Okay, we got center to stop. Brakeman's made the cut. We're going to pull away. Okay, we'll clear the scale or stop. Conductor's going to weigh the car. Conductor's weighed the car. We're going to come back again. We're going to go in with our coupler picks. They see what we're doing here. We're just going to pull the coupler off to the side. Go up there. That's just the same as if you were on a Katy magnet. We put the couplers into delay mode, and now we're going to push this car off the scale. And we're going to shove it to a joint with the other cars. We've already weighed. Back a little bit, leave us some room. Now we're going to pull forward. Now we pull forward and we're going to start the process all over again. Spot this car in the scale. We've weighed our car to cement. Now we're going to begin pulling forward, and we're going to pull down the yard lead. We stopped clear of the 4-track switch, and now we're going to shove back. Start building our outbound train. Okay, we shove back to the clearance point. Now we're going to make a cut and pull forward. switches are lined, and now we're going to shove back and put these two loads into track 2, which is a stub track. That'll keep our double-ended track number 3 and the scale track open to make our runaround move when we come in with our empties. Now we're going to head back to our train in the east yard, and we're going to start spotting our empties. We have empties in the train for both cement mills. Due to the length of this video, I'm going to break it into 2 parts. Part number 2 will be the operation of the cementer, spotting empties into pin Dixie number 6 and Keystone Cement, putting the outbound train together and operating over the layout to return back to the Hidden Valley staging yard, which represents the continuation of the train into Port Morris Yard in Netcong, New Jersey, where the train would be broken up and the cement cars forwarded to their various destinations throughout North Jersey and New York Harbor. Remember to give my video a like and to subscribe to my channel.